Hello everybody and welcome back to the Miser's Guide to Evony. In today's video we are going to be talking about Keep 22. We're going to look at the required buildings and resource costs for Keep 22. We're going to talk about the unlocked buildings and features at this stage of Evony. We're going to think ahead to future keep levels, and I'll give you general recommendations and commentary that might be of interest to you for Keep 22. Starting off with building requirements, we have Walls 21 as the only requirement for Keep 22. The resource requirements for the keep, like always, have gone up. We're now looking at 13.3 million food and 16 million of each of the other resources. For the keep plus Walls 21, we're looking at a bit over 20 million food and about 25 million of all the other resources as well. For unlocked buildings, we have nothing this time. We had a whole bunch of buildings, well, whole bunch being 2 in the last keep level, but nothing this time, and no unlocked features either. Thinking ahead to future keep levels, we're looking at Barracks 22 for Keep 23, Stables 23 for Keep 24, we want Academy 24 for Keep 25, and Watchtower 25, and also Farm 25 because the Watchtower 25 has a requirement. We need those 2 for Keep 26. Now we can move on to the recommendations and commentaries section. At this point, we've already talked about increasing that double drop rate, and I've been talking about getting into bosses, saving speed ups, saving gems. You don't necessarily have to be bubbled if you don't have military and your resources are below what's protected from your warehouse. So I've talked extensively about all those things. But along the way, you've been gathering things like Wheel of Fortune tokens. And hopefully you've been doing the quick spin for the daily activity, because that was one of my recommendations, is always do those daily activities. But if you've been doing Hydras and so on in your alliance, you probably have a stockpile of Wheel of Fortune tokens. And this is a pretty good time to talk about those. So one thing that we're going to have to worry about fairly soon is skill books. And if you've watched my skill book video on how to correctly apply skill books, then you'll know that you need a lot of level 1 skill books, and you also need the higher level skill books too. But as a baseline, you want to get those level 1 skill books, quite a bit of all of the different types, so that you have flexibility when you are skilling or skill booking a general. The best way to get level 1 skill books is actually through the Wheel of Fortune. So if you have a lot of tokens, then go ahead and spin and spin and spin. Keep a bit for your daily activity and so on. But you might have, for all I know, you might have a couple 100,000 at this point, or you might have less or more. Who knows? Depends on what you guys do in your alliance. But if you do have a lot of excess tokens, you'll get a bunch of gems, you'll get skill books, you can get a whole bunch of great stuff from the Wheel of Fortune. It just takes a bit of time, so sit down and spin and spin and spin, and hopefully you get lucky. Who knows, you might get some generals. Not likely, but who knows. At the very least, you'll get stamina, you'll get gems, and you'll get skill books, and those are all very important. Last video I talked about Forge 21 and crafting the Fearless King's Ring. You definitely want to keep continuing on that. So at this point, you are probably limited on stamina, and you don't have great double drop generals just yet. You might have your Cleopatra, but you might be using other generals as well, and that's okay. So you definitely want to have your first King's Ring by now. And you would put that on your Cleopatra with your Bird of Hurricane Spiritbeast. But if you can get more, that's even better. So try to be cranking out your Fearless King's Ring. You want to get 5 eventually, so that you can have 1 for each of your double drop generals. One other thing that I can talk about as well is if you only have 1 ring, that's all right. Even if you are sending multiple generals to bosses, one thing that some people don't always know is that the double drop and all those kind of buffs happen when the attack or whatever lands, when the actual thing causes communication with the Evony server and it bounces back the information. That's when all those checks take place. So if you put a King's Ring on one general and it's out marching, and then you have another general that's out marching but a little bit slower, you can let this first general land and take the double drop increase, and then when it's returning, take the ring off of that general, put it on your other general so that when it lands on the boss, it can receive that double drop rate as well. And you can keep hot swapping those rings. So even if you have a very limited supply of rings, you can still make use of that double drop rate if you are fairly active. Now, obviously, that's going to be a pain in the butt, but you don't always have to do that because you're going to be crafting more King's Rings as you go. All right. The last bit of commentary that I have for you here is the Spiritbeast experience books that you're getting. Make sure you are spending those on your Bird of Hurricane so that the level of the Bird of Hurricane is increasing, which increases the double drop rate. It's not super significant, like it's 1% or 2% or whatever, but consider that even 1% over many months of bosses is going to be quite a few boss chests that you got that you might not have otherwise. So even if it looks like it's a small amount, double drop rate, even small increases are very, very important. That's all I have for you in this video. Thank you to all the subscribers for watching and the channel members especially for supporting the Miser's Guide to Evony. If you want to become a channel member, then click the join button and check out the thank you perks that I have laid out for you there. Also remember that everyone is welcome to join the Miser's Guide to Evony Discord and communicate in some of the discourse that happens there, including question and answers with various members of the community. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.